What is going on, everyone? It's another Al Gattullo Craft Beer Cast on AM 970 The Answer. Hope you are doing well. We are just a day away from June 1st and 6 months into the year. Can you imagine? 6 months already. Amazing. We've got an amazing show for you tonight, and it's jam-packed with guests. So coming up in our next segment, Chris Furnari. He's the Senior Communications Director at Athletic Brewing. He'll join me to talk all about their new patriotic rebranding for America 250, a new radler, and a lot more. Great conversation with Chris. And then in 20 minutes, and for the remainder of the show, co-founder of Victory Brewing, Bill Covaleski, and the owner of a travel company, Irene Squizzato, joined me to talk about a once-in-a-lifetime trip to Belgium that is taking place at the end of September to tour a bunch of historic breweries. You do not want to miss this. It's a great interview, and if you're a fan of craft beer and Belgian beer, you're going to want to go on this trip. Bill's going to be a part of it. It's going to be awesome. All right, we do have a lot of news to get to, and I need to get to it quickly because we have a lot of show here. So Grimm's 8th anniversary party is coming up on Saturday, June 20th. They say join us at the tap room for a special celebration of all things Grimm Universe in the 8 incredible years we've spent at 990 Metropolitan Avenue since our days of nomadic brewing. There are a lot of things going on June 20th. I don't know how people are going to make all of them. They're certainly not going to. But if you are looking to do something fun, Grimm is having their 8th anniversary party on Saturday, June 20th. Now, on Friday, June the 12th, Saltfields Brewing, we've talked about these guys, Japanese couple. They make one beer. It's a rice lager. It is amazing. They are having a first anniversary party from 5 to 10 p.m. on Friday, June 12th at Public Records NYC. It's located at 233 Butler Street in Brooklyn, New York. Special edition 4-packs will be available for purchase. Music and food as well. Come celebrate 1 year of Saltfield. So you definitely want to be a part of that. New Jersey Pint Day is coming up this Thursday, June the 4th. There's a Pint Day glass that will be at a number of different breweries. Brewers Guild, NJ.com for the list of breweries. $1 from each glass will benefit the Brewers Guild of New Jersey. I will certainly be somewhere. Not sure yet where I'm going to be, but a lot of my local places are going to be carrying the glass, and I cannot wait to hang out and have a beer and celebrate New Jersey Pint Day. That's this coming Thursday, June the 4th. Now, tickets for the Great American Beer Festival. They go on sale Thursday, June 25th at noon Eastern. It'll be at the Levitt Pavilion. We talked about this already, October 10th and 11th, from noon to 4 p.m. It's outdoors, live music, tasty brews, lots of fun under the Colorado sun. This is a gamble here doing this outside in October in Denver, right? Ticket prices are nearly 40% lower than previous years. The all-in price for tickets start at $66.53. They are curating a stellar lineup of award-winning breweries. We'll have staff pouring all weekend. It's your chance to connect with the people behind your favorite beer, so it's not just going to be volunteers. They're going to be brewers and owners actually there. A public awards ceremony that will be held during the festival on Sunday, October 11th. And then they're offering round-trip shuttle services from the Sheraton Denver downtown to Levitt Pavilion as an optional add-on to your ticket purchase. More details are coming soon. GreatAmericanBeerFestival.com for more information there. What I want to do right now, before we run out of time, is our weekly segment with Gary Monterosso. And in this, he's giving us an update on Anchor Steam Brewing.
I'm Gary Monterosso for the Al Gattullo Craft Beer Cast. Anchor Brewing may finally be showing signs of life nearly 3 years after shutting down. Billionaire Hamdi Ulukawa bought the historic San Francisco brewery, promising a comeback. And now there are reports of maintenance work, brewing permits, and even new label approvals for Anchor Steam and Old Foghorn. But the challenge is huge. Craft beer sales continue to decline, legacy breweries are struggling, and today's market looks very different from the one Anchor helped create. Still, for longtime fans, just seeing steam rise from the brewery again feels like a hopeful sign.
You know, thank you, Gary. We do appreciate that. I saw the story about Anchor filing for labels from the former guy who used to run Revolution's marketing. And he made a great point, and I want to bring this up real quick. He thinks that when they start brewing again and when they put those beers out there, they should do draft only, and it should only go to people in San Francisco. Create a buzz behind it. And if you're going to do the other beer and put it in bottles, it should be something that's exclusive to San Francisco first. Build it up and then push it out. And I don't think he's wrong there on that one. Finally, a quick story. The Knicks have made it to the NBA Finals. They will start Game 1 this coming Wednesday. And a bar that I've been to before, they bet on the Knicks that night. And this is a great story. So the Jeffrey, which is located right outside where you get on the tram to go to Roosevelt Island, they bet on the Knicks here. So they said they ran a promotion. For each point in the Knicks' margin of victory, the bar would reduce patrons' bills by 1%. The plan was to bring in a crowd. So they get last Monday, they win 130-93. So the people that were at the bar got a 37% discount on their bill. Basically, Andrew Freeman, who's the bar's co-founder, he's also a co-managing partner at the Olshan Frome Wolski law firm, told 1010 Wins, we took one for the team. They made no profit that night. They basically, people got their bar bills picked up on their 37%. Now, listen, that's again, I think that was a cool idea to reduce patrons' bill by every margin of victory that the Knicks had. And so, if you were there that night, if you've never been to the Jeffrey, you should go. The food is phenomenal. They have an amazing tap beer list. They got a great little beer garden in the back. You can watch the trams going over to Roosevelt Island. It is a really, really cool spot. But kudos to them for doing a promotion like this. I don't know how packed they were. They don't really say whether they were packed. But Friedman said, we took a little bit of a hit, but for the Knicks to make it to their first finals in 27 years, it was worth every penny. There is no word if they're going to do this sort of promotion again. I suspect that they are not, but kudos to them. That is really, really cool. When we come back after a short break, Chris Furnari, the Senior Communications Director at Athletic Brewing, joins me on the program. This is the Al Gattullo Craft Beer Cast on AM 970 The Answer. Welcome back to the Al Gattullo Craft Beer Cast on AM 970 The Answer. Last weekend in May, can you believe that June is just around the corner and the 4th of July is just about a month or so away? And my next guest, who has been with Athletic Brewing for a number of years now, if you haven't heard by now, Athletic is the #1 non-alcoholic beer in America. They have taken the country by storm. They've been producing so many different styles. This time around, they're taking their flagship beer and they're turning it patriotic to celebrate the United States of America's 250th birthday, of course, coming up on July the 4th. More info on where you can order beer that will ship direct to your home is at athleticbrewing.com. Let me welcome back to the Craft Beer Cast on AM 970 The Answer, the Senior Communications Manager for Athletic Brewing, Chris Furnari. Chris, how are you, my friend?
Oh, I'm doing great, Al. Thanks for having me back on the show.
You're welcome. Now, why was now the right time to launch a new national commercial that spotlights Run Wild IPA and the 250th anniversary theme?
Absolutely. Well, I'll touch on your last part first there. I mean, 250 years of America, we got to celebrate the moment. So we got some special edition packaging coming out. You'll find that hitting retailers now. And it's, we got some stars and stripes. So we got some stars on the cans, special Run Wild IPA cans. And then the outer pack, the 12 packs, have a pretty familiar, flag emblem with the red and the white. So look for those all summer long.
Nice. Now, in the new TV spot, you have a variety of different folks from all walks of life talking about the beer. Celebrity chef Chris Casento, John Hall, the beer writer, which I think is really cool. Did Athletic approach them, or did they come to Athletic?
So it's a little bit of both. We've been working with folks like Chris and David Chang for a while now. Mm-hmm. So Chris Constantino, he helped produce one of our specialty limited time offerings called After Shift, which actually we just released that earlier this month for Mental Health Awareness Month. So he's one of the collaborators on that beer. He's been a longtime fan and ambassador of Athletic. And David Chang is one of our investors. So, we were really looking for some tastemakers that are really familiar with the brand, have a genuine love and appreciation for Run Wild, to be featured in that TV spot. It's called Exceed Every Expectation. And then, we thought, hey, who are some other folks that could speak really well about the beer, who know the beer backwards and forwards, the beer industry. And we thought, let's get some beer writers in there. And John Hall, you can't deny the bow tie, right?
No, not at all. And John lives a couple towns away from me in New Jersey, so we've gotten together to break bread and beer a number of times. Never a non-alcoholic beer, but we might have to change that. Next time I run into him and record him for an interview. And I think it's great. I think it's first off, just the fact of being able to promote drinking responsible. That, hey, it doesn't always have to be a full alcoholic beer. You can always switch it up every once in a while, which I think is great. And it speaks volumes when you have people from so many different walks of life where drinking is a part of the industry itself, promoting a non-alcoholic beer. We're talking with Chris Furnari, the Senior Communications Manager for Athletic Brewing. For more info on the new campaign, Exceed Every Expectation, and to order the beer, you can just head over to athleticbrewing.com. We're here on the Al Gattullo Craft Beer Cast on AM 970. The Answer. Chris, are there any other plans to use Athletic Brewing in a sort of sponsorship way, like patriotic parades, fireworks, and the likes with any of the campaigns that are going on?
Sure. We traditionally do the most of our activations throughout the summer. So we'll be popping up at road races and marathons and 5Ks and 10Ks all throughout the year. We've got obviously a partnership with Ironman. We're the official non-alcoholic beer of Ironman. So we'll be at all the Ironman races, activating all summer long. A few of these races, I'm sure, will be 4th of July themed. So look for us in your hometown, wherever you're listening. We're likely at the finish line of your local 5K.
Now, within this launch that you've done about the America 250 and the Exceed Your Expectations, you've also launched another new alcoholic style for you guys at Athletic, a radler called Fruited Fields. Tell the folks what's in this beer.
Yeah, well, it's red, white, and blue, if you can believe
with that
it.
Theme.
Yes, raspberry, white grapefruit, and blueberry flavors. And this is just a crushable beer, super drinkable, everything you want on a hot day, lots of berry aromas, just super, super refreshing. I had a few this weekend. Comes in, of course, less than 0.5% ABV, so it's non-alcoholic, 80 calories. You could drink plenty of these on the boat, in your backyard while you're grilling, at a ball game, if you're, out sporting the kiddos. Really, it's just the perfect sipper all summer long.
Fruited Fields available now in 12-packs at retailers nationwide and in 6-packs on athleticbrewing.com if you want to check it out there. And again, it's non-alcoholic, so they ship all over the 50 states. You can order it, a couple clicks, boom, and it's sent to your doorstep within a couple of days. Chris, is there a beer style, and I don't mean to put you on the spot here, but is there a beer style that Athletic hasn't made yet? Because I'm running through my brain of how many different ones that the company has made over the years. Is there one that hasn't been produced yet from Athletic style?
The first thing that comes to mind for me is probably a true barrel-aged beer. A lot of technical difficulties with that. I know we've done some stuff with wood chips, and we've experimented with wood chips, but actually barrel-aging a non-alcoholic beer is not something I think that we've been able to achieve, or really anybody has been able to achieve to my knowledge. There are some food safety considerations there.
Sure.
But outside of that, we've pretty much done it all. We make, everything from light beers to IPAs to, beers with fruit, sour beers, radlers. We have a whole line of cocktail-inspired brews now, so Moscow Mule and Paloma flavors.
Right.
On our website, we're constantly experimenting with, all our new styles, some of which may be, mainstays in the lineup in the years ahead. We've experimented with a Pilsner style beer that we're, really excited about. So we pretty much do it all.
Now, one of the other things that I notice about your beers is that many local brewery spaces in and around New Jersey, I've seen it in New York too, will carry some of your stuff. So if folks want to hang with their friends and not drink, they can enjoy a non-alcoholic beer. Is Athletic aware of this? Have they seen this in other places across the country where they go to a local brewery and they see Athletic being sold?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I would say that the barrier to entry for a lot of smaller local craft breweries to produce their own non-alcoholic beer is pretty high.
Right.
So you have to invest quite a bit of money into some pasteurization, which requires a lot of space. Oftentimes, these breweries do not have the footprint for that.
Right.
So the second option for them, might be contract producing it with a brewery that does provide the opportunity to make a non-alcoholic beer. If that's not something that they're interested in investing behind, usually the easiest option is to support another brewery like Athletic or some of the other non-alcoholic producers out there and just carry those products in your tap room.
Yeah, we're talking with Chris Furnari, the Senior Communications Manager for Athletic Brewing. AthleticBrewing.com is the website for all of the non-alcoholic beers that Athletic Beer produces, including you guys just signed your first Major League Baseball player to help promote Athletic Beer, Teoscar Hernandez, who plays for the Dodgers. Is that guy. Yeah. Was L.A. the first choice for Athletic to sort of branch out in that area?
Well, we've sponsored athletes for many years now. Usually these athletes are in sort of the endurance sports world, so a lot of cyclists or runners or, we have a guy who goes for FKT, so fastest known times. A lot of kind of like a mix of hiking and running. This is really our first major athlete signing. So I'll let you in on a little secret here. Teoscar obviously plays for the Dodgers. We also happen to be the an official partner of the San Francisco Giants. So I don't know if you can make sense of that one and that rivalry. Well, you'll have a job,
right?
But we do try to support as many local events and teams as possible, as well as some major teams. So we're the official non-alcoholic beer of Arsenal. We've got a number of partnerships coming together in the major sporting worlds. We've started working with a number of soccer clubs throughout the U.S. So we're really branching out now into those major sports arenas.
All right, last question for me, Chris. Why has there been such an explosion over the last few years in the non-alcoholic space, in your opinion? Was it the consequences of the pandemic 6 years ago? People are just naturally cutting back on consumption of beer, or is it something else, you think?
Well, I mean, I think people are taking a moment or have taken a moment to reflect on, how much they want to consume, how much alcohol they want to consume. They're reassessing their relationship there with alcohol. Moderation is the trend right now. So 80% of our customers still drink alcohol. They're just choosing, when they want to consume alcohol, or maybe they're cutting back. We hear so often from our customers that, they're mixing in Athletic on a Friday or Saturday night while they may have a couple of beers. And also throughout the week when they wouldn't have, had a drink because it contains alcohol, right, they're now able to participate, and, they really want the taste of an IPA, but they got stuff to do. They got kids. They got to wake up in the morning and go train for a marathon. They've got a lot of other goals and objectives in life, and non-alcoholic beer, especially Athletic, is a great way for them to, still participate in all of life's beautiful social moments, and remain fully present, not wake up with a hangover, and, still be there to socialize with your friends and family.
Well, you guys at Athletic are doing a killer job of it. My guest has been Chris Furnari, the Senior Communications Manager for Athletic Brewing. For more info on their new campaigns, Exceed Every Expectation, the new Radler that they have, and everything else, just head over to athleticbrewing.com. Chris, thanks so much for giving me a few minutes. All the best on everything with Athletic Brewing, my friend.
Thank you so much. It's great to reconnect, and I hope you have a great summer.
You got it. Up next, Bill Covaleski from Victory Brewing and Irene Squizzato from Curiosity Roads, a travel company with the trip of a lifetime. All the details are next on the Al Gattulo Craft Beer Cast on AM 970 The Answer. Welcome back to the Algatullo Craft Beer Cast on AM 970 The Answer. We are almost into the month of June, amazingly enough, and my next guests are about to embark on a trip of a lifetime. Now, if you partake in craft beer and you are a lover of Belgian beer, you will enjoy this interview. You know what? You're going to enjoy this interview either way. It doesn't matter whether you like beer, Belgian beer, it doesn't matter. One happens to be an old friend of the show. Victory Brewing has been pumping out beer for 30 years. The other, a newfound friend who runs a travel company that books once-in-a-lifetime trips around Europe. VictoryBeer.com is where you can get info on the beer. CuriosityRoads.com is where you can get more info on the trip. Let me welcome Irene Squizzato from Curiosity Roads and Bill Covaleski, the co-owner of Victory Beer, to the Craft Beer Cast on AM 970 The Answer. Irene and Bill, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Albert. Glad to be here.
Hello, Al. It's always enlightening and entertaining to spend some time with you.
Well, this is great. Now, Irene, this looks like an amazing trip. I'm going to start with you. 8 days, 7 nights in Belgium, where you will travel to some fantastic cities. Now, before we dive into the whole thing, for those that are listening, what are the dates of the trip and how many spots are still available?
The dates are the 25th of September until October 2nd.
Okay.
And we have about 10 spots left.
Okay, 10 spots left. And again, let me write those. Give me those dates again. It was September
25th.
25th.
It's when we start, and it will go through October 2nd.
October 2nd. Okay, great. Now, Bill, you are quite the traveler yourself. I follow your Instagram all the time, and I'm amazed at all the places that you've been to. When was the last time that you were in Belgium, and how quickly did you say yes to this trip when you were asked?
Well, I'll start in reverse. I said yes immediately because I was brought on at a time when we were still sort of collaborating on the itinerary. So it was very exciting to be part of that. My first trip to Belgium was very memorable, Al. It was in May of 1987. I went with my best buddy, Ron. We formed Victory Brewing Company 9 years later, and we learned a lot about Belgian beer during that trip.
And obviously, Belgian beer is what got Victory Brewing started and has continued to propel Victory Beer, even though styles have, changed over the years. I mean, 30 years is a long time, and you've navigated the tides and the ebbs and flows quite beautifully. We are talking with Irene Squizzato from Curiosity Roads and Bill Covaleski, the co-founder of Victory Beer, a once-in-a-lifetime excursion to Belgium, late September 25th through October 2nd, with Bill as your tour guide as it is through some amazing places, which we're going to get to in a moment. For more info on Bill and Victory Beer, victorybeer.com. CuriosityRoads.com is where you can get more info on the trip. You can send them an email. They'll send you the itinerary package, the prices, and all that good stuff. We're here on the Algatullo Craft Beer Cast on AM 970, The Answer. So, Irene, let's start with the cities being traveled to and the breweries that people on the tour will be visiting. Folks will travel to Brussels, and then which brewery do they head to first?
Yes, so the trip is designed to have the first 4 nights in Brussels and then the last 3 nights in Ghent, which is a less known city that is wonderful. Mm-hmm. During their stays, they will be doing day trip to the countryside to visit some iconic, small, wonderful breweries. And some of them are like very iconic and certainly known by beer geeks.
Right.
Six's Brewery, definitely a historic Trappist brewery. And then they will visit Tree Fontaine. I'm sure Bill can talk for hours about it. Like the lambic brewing style par excellence. And then in Bruges, they will be visiting Van der Maal, which is on the 6th generation family running this small iconic brewery that is in the historic wall of Bruges, and something that really sparked my interest was to discover that they have built a 3 kilometers long pipeline that goes under the canals and outside of the city, so to the bottling facility. So the brewing still happens in the historic walls within the medieval cities of Bruges, and then they transport in a very efficient way, very low on carbon footprint in a way to the outside for bottling.
That sounds amazing, and I want to touch on that in just a moment. But with the day two part of the trip in Brussels, you're visiting a beer museum and an artisanal chocolate place. So you're pairing up beer with chocolate on this second day of the trip. Is that correct?
Yes, indeed. Mm-hmm.
And then go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
So what types of chocolate and beer are going to be paired up for people who are going to be on this trip?
I don't know the specifics of what type of chocolate and beers. I'm going to let the local expert kind of decide on the pairing.
Okay.
And we have the travel director that will be with the group, who has been in the beer industry for 10 years and actually has led tasting beer workshop across some of the main breweries like Cantillon, Trefontaine,
right.
Hermitage Brewery. So he's more in the expert for the pairing than me.
All right, so then, Bill, let me shift this back to you. When Irene was mentioning about Trefontaine, I could hear you lighting up. Your face had I can't see you, but I know that there was a smile on your face when she said that. What is it about Trefontaine that people just go absolutely nuts over?
The flavors that they deliver. Beers that have a strong sour aspect to them are not for everyone. But the real mastery is in the blending of the raw products that they ferment there. And so they are really masterful at bringing flavors together in harmony that get people who don't even like a sour aspect to a beer to appreciate what has been created here. And it's right in, the Seine River Valley. It's the place.
Yeah, and so what is it about Belgium then, Bill, and their beers, not just Trefontaine, but obviously the other places that you're going to be traveling on this trip, that makes serious beer drinkers wax so poetic about the country and the liquid itself? Is it obviously in part it's the way the beers are made, but is it an old world charm that folks want to experience, or is there's something else there? Because obviously there are abbeys, there's farms, there's obviously cities with canals. There's so many different things here. Is it one thing, or is it all of those things?
In short, the Belgian passion for tradition and experimentation is unique. Compare them to Germany, their neighbor. In 1516, the Reinheitsgebot said, all right, you only got 4 ingredients to work with.
Right. Great
German beers, but it really sort of suffocated the bandwidth, right? Whereas Belgium has a much wider bandwidth of flavors and use, and they're fiercely independent and very proud of all these different offerings. So, like the question about which beers to pair with chocolates, the diversity exists in both of these products there in Belgium, and there'll be no problem harmonizing these things.
Yeah, I mean, would you say that Belgium, and it almost sounds insulting here, but would you say Belgium, it was sort of the back in the day, the United States of experimenting with different flavors in craft beer? Because, once beer came to America and, over the last, 30, 40 years where brewers really started to play around with different styles and different things and saying, hey, let's see if this works in this or that works in that. Belgium was sort of that outlier first, right? Like, okay, Germany has its way and that's cool, but we want to do things a little bit differently here.
Yes, you're spot on with that, Al. That observation is great. Essentially, Belgian brewing tradition was very liberating for young home brewers like myself in the early 80s and aspiring craft brewers, because we saw all these crazy, wild possibilities. And look, perfected our monkey family of beers. We started with a straightforward triple, the Golden Monkey, and my gosh, we've done it in Chardonnay barrels to be the White Monkey. We've done it as a sour triple for the Sour Monkey, and heck, we're already on to Witty Monkey. So it's been inspiration for most brewers.
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome. We're talking with Irene Squizzato from Curiosity Roads and Bill Covaleski, the co-founder of Victory Beer. This is a trip of a lifetime here, and I want to take a quick break because there's definitely more to get into here. The dates are September 25th through October 2nd. You can go to curiosityroads.com for more information on it. We will get more into the trip in just a moment, including a historical site that is a can't miss with Bill and Irene. Up next on the Al Gattullo Craft Beer Cast on AM 970, The Answer. Welcome back to the Al Gattullo Craft Beer Cast on AM 970, The Answer. I'm joined by Irene Squizzato from Curiosity Roads and the co-founder of Victory Beer, Bill Covaleski. A once-in-a-lifetime excursion to Belgium in late September. The dates are September 25th through October 2nd. There are a few spots still available, so certainly you want to get in on this right now. CuriosityRoads.com is where you can get more info on the trip. VictoryBeer.com. If you go onto their Facebook page, they also have a clickable link that you can go into, and it gives you the whole rundown and the itinerary as well. Just look for the photo where Bill is sort of drinking a Victory Beer. You click on that, it will give you all the info right there. Bill will be on the trip to sort of guide you through a bunch of the places there. There'll also be a tour guide and everything else. They both rejoin me back on the program. Irene, there is a day here, as I mentioned just before the break, where folks will be able to visit the Museum Plantin Moretus, I hope I'm getting that correct, which is now a UNESCO heritage site. Can you tell the audience a little bit about which city this is in and why this museum is so important to Belgian culture?
Yes, thanks for the question. The museum is in Antwerp or Anversa, which is a beautiful, gorgeous city in Belgium. And the reason why I picked this visit is because, we are in the time of AI that is shifting communication once more. And the magnitude of the shift is probably similar to when the internet came on. Mm-hmm. And this is kind of the place that really, back in the 16th centuries, shifted communication from, writing letters to a more big scales, because we're talking about a press, the first industrial scale printing press, mm-hmm. Where the mechanics of communication were transformed. And it was very pivotal in the beer industry because they started printing botanical studies and recipes of beers. Right. And those became more available, certainly throughout Belgium and then Europe and then, a larger scale. So I thought it could be a very interesting visit to kind of walk inside this historic place that has had such an important role in spreading the knowledge of beer, of brewing.
Right, because up until this point, people were handwriting recipes down on ink and paper, and obviously the elements, yes. Paper could, disintegrate. There wasn't a way to keep it permanently on, or in a book, say, unless it was handwritten. So that is an important part of the process, and that's wonderful. How do you come? You do all these trips. It's not just beer. You do other trips as well. Are there when you come up with these trips? Is it based on places that you have visited yourself, around the world, or is it somebody comes to you with an idea and says, I would like to do, this particular trip in Europe or this particular trip somewhere else. Could you curate a trip?
It's both. It's a bit of both. We work a lot on custom trips, and for group tours, it can be kind of a cross-pollination, I would say. For example, we're doing a trip to Argentina with a tango instructor, and it was like a kind of bringing together the two expertise. And in the case of Belgium, I have been going for several years because my best friend lives there. And so I had the opportunity to go quite a lot and kind of witness the culture. And I'm coming from a wine background in terms of designing itineraries. And I realized that the beer world in Belgium offered like as much as, Italy offers in terms of wine exploration.
Right.
And so, and then I have partners on the ground that help me set up the logistics and connect with some locals. So it's a process.
Got it. We're talking with Irene Squizzato from Curiosity Roads and a co-founder of Victory Brewing, Bill Covaleski. The once-in-a-lifetime excursion to Belgium, late September. Plan this out, folks. You really need to you want to go to this thing. It's going to be unbelievable. September 25th through October 2nd. Bill is going to be your tour guide on this journey through Belgium with some amazing places. For more info on Bill and Victory Beer, victorybeer.com. CuriosityRoads.com is where you can get more info on the trip. We're here on the Al Gattullo Craft Beer Cast on AM 970 The Answer. Now, Bill, obviously, I know you've been to Belgium many times. Is there one specific place that you are looking forward to explore and, of course, sampling the beers produced there?
Wow. This trip is going to bring a few new visits for me. So I'm excited for everything. But I guess I would have to probably put the Abbey Brewery of St. Sixtus at the top to go to the place where the West-Nederland beers are produced and to enjoy them is, for me, really going to be a excursion. No doubt about that. If I might, another one that's got me super excited is we are going to the Orval specific restaurant where we will be pairing Orval beer with cuisines that they produce at the restaurant. And if you've never had an Orval perfectly poured by someone who really understands how the beer is produced and carbonated, that experience is phenomenal.
Bill, we've talked about this before. I think we've talked about it before on the program, and I've talked with others. It's amazing to me how everybody thinks that wine and food pair so well together, when in reality, at least in my opinion, maybe I'm being a little bit of a snob here, beer and food, I think, pair together much better, from all different styles, whether it's the start of a meal or the end of a meal. There's such a wide selection that pair up perfectly with food. Is that one of the things that you enjoy most about, not just doing these trips, but, the process of it, to share with people, hey, look, you can pair this with that and it works perfectly. Try it with a bite of this or a sip of that. Is that something that excites you?
It very much does, Al. I think you'll find that anyone who works in products of flavor is out to inspire others to take the challenge and push forward and do something more interesting and more exciting, perhaps out of their comfort zone. And that's when you get a brewer and you get a chef together, you get some amazing fireworks of flavor, because both are trying to, have the best show flavor-wise, but at the same time, they understand the importance of harmony as well for people.
Right. Irene, for those that are curious, the hotels in each city that you'll be staying at, and I was looking at the itinerary, they're very carefully selected by you. Why is that so important when you're traveling with a tour group? I mean, you could just as easily pick, a chain hotel to stay in each city. Why is it so important that it needs to be a family-owned sort of hotel place that these people stay at?
Oh, thanks for the question. Yeah, it's something I'm really keen about, is working with family-owned business as much as we can. I believe the connections that people can make in this smaller establishment is more enriching than going to visit a chain hotel where it's like there is a more standardized service and it's a little less.
It's impersonal. It's impersonal.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And also that reflects a lot in the way that the places are curated. The dining room, the bedrooms, often boutique hotel have bedrooms that are unique one another. So it's not like the cookie cutters rooms, and you can like kind of feel they're infused with art. Certainly, Hotel Juliana, which is the first hotel in Brussels, is almost like walking inside a museum, a very eclectic museum, because the owners have traveled around the world and brought back a lot of art. Wow. And so I think this kind of brings a place more into life than, you know, a hotel that doesn't bring the region back into the room, in a sense. I don't know if I'm.
I understand. I understand exactly where you're coming from. We're running out of time here, so I want to get a couple of just specific things here. Irene, what date is the deadline for folks to sign up for the trip, and what is included in the purchase price for the trip?
The deadline is June 17.
Okay.
Yes. And I'm sorry, what was the second question?
Well, how much for what's included in the purchase price for the trip if somebody is interested in jumping on board?
Pretty much like all the accommodation, all the transportations, all the tasting, all the meals described in the itineraries. Okay. We have only left out one meal a day so that people can also wander on their own, and it's mostly dinner. But we'll have a welcome dinner and a farewell dinner. So, it's very inclusive.
And just to be clear for everyone, if you are looking at the itinerary, all of those things are included and you can see it there, but airfare is not included. You have to purchase that airfare on your own once you get a confirmation from the company that says you're in and you're booked on the trip. So want to make that clear for folks that airfare is not included. My last question, Bill, this one is for you. Are you still pinching yourself that this trip is only a few months away?
I am. It's been very exciting collaboration. And, you know, I'm fascinated and thrilled to see who's going to be fortunate enough to join us, because in a way that's sort of my role here is to bring relevance to the beer experience we're going to be having.
Right.
And the way that's done is through conversations. So I'm really, for the folks I'm going to all these conversations about beer.
And what's great is that you and Irene have had discussions on, hey, these are the breweries that we should go to. This is how we should sort of plan the trip out. So, folks, you are going to have the trip of a lifetime because you're going with people that understand the Belgian culture, that understand where to go. It is an amazing once-in-a-lifetime trip. My guests have been Irene Squizzato from Curiosity Roads, co-founder of Victory Brewing, Bill Covaleski. That trip, September 25th through October 2nd. The deadline is June 17th to get in. VictoryBeer.com for more information about Victory Beer. CuriosityRoads.com is where you can get more info on the trip. Irene and Bill, thanks so much for joining me on the program tonight. I very much appreciate it.
Thank you, Al.
Thanks for having us.
You're welcome. My thanks to everybody involved on this program. I'll be back Monday at 6 a.m. on the Joe Piscopo Show. And, of course, last but not least, the great Buddy Watson. I have to thank him as well. This has been the Al Gattullo Craft Beer Cast on AM 970 The Answer. Cheers, everybody.